Okay. I know. I know. All right. So by a raise of hands, how many of you guys have read There's a Hole in the Bucket? How many of you guys have heard this one? There's a hole in my bucket. A couple of you guys? No. A couple of you guys, a couple haven't? What do we, raise your hand real quietly and tell me what we think this book's going to be about. Raise your hand real quietly and tell me what you think this book's going to be about. Bella, yes, I love how you're sitting quietly. What do you think the book's going to be about? There's a hole in the bucket. It's going to be about a cat?
That's a lot.
Maybe. Lenore, what do you think the book's going to be about?
It's a dog.
What do you think the book's going to be about? It's called There's a Hole in the Bucket.
Water's gonna leak out.
You think maybe water's going to leak out of what?
The bucket.
Out of the bucket? That's a good answer. Guys, face me. Face me. What do you think's going to happen in the book? There's going to be a sheep in there? These are all good. These are all good answers. Yes, one more. What do you think's going to happen? It's going to be a hole in the bucket? I think we're on to something. Okay, let's go ahead and read this through, okay? There's a Hole in the Bucket. Pictures by Nadine Bernard Westcott. It says, Henry, water. For Walter and Bonnie, with love.
Oh my God, he's getting in the water and he's walking with the water and he said, why are you looking at his bucket?
Okay. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. Dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. A hole. You see all the holes over here?
Yeah.
Oh. Where is he? Do you think he's on? Where do you think he's on? Where do you think he lives?
Yes. In the
In
barn.
a barn? I think you guys are on to something.
In the barn.
Well, fix it, dear Henry. Dear Henry. Dear Henry. Well, fix it, dear Henry. Dear Henry, fix it. With what shall I fix it? Dear Liza. Dear Liza. With what shall I fix it, dear Liza? With what? With a straw, dear Henry. Dear Henry. Dear Henry. With a straw, dear Henry. Dear Henry, with a straw. How many of you guys think a straw will fix a hole in a bucket?
It will fall out. No.
Big thing of straw. But the straw is too long, dear Liza. Dear Liza. But the straw is too long, dear Liza. Too long.
No, a straw.
What do you think you should do if it's too long?
Cut it.
Cut it? We think you should cut it? What do you think?
I
Cut
think
it?
so.
It's
Take
fine.
apart. Cut it a lot. Take
Okay.
apart.
I think cut it's a good answer. If it's too long, you just cut it, right?
No, we have to cut it in the
So
middle.
then cut it, dear Henry. Dear Henry, dear Henry. Then cut it, dear Henry. Henry, then cut it. Well, how shall I cut it, dear Liza? Dear Liza. Well, how should I cut it,
With
dear
scissors.
Liza? Well, how? How do you
With
think we're going to cut it?
scissors. In the middle.
With a knife? Ooh, who else thinks with a knife?
With the axe. With the axe.
Ooh, an axe is a good one. With an axe, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With an axe, dear Henry, dear Henry. With an axe. How do you cut with an axe? Everyone show me how you cut with an axe.
That's sure not.
It's fine.
It's too
But-
heavy.
But the axe is too dull, dear Liza.
I think
Dear
it
Liza.
has to be a
But
hammer.
the axe is too dull, dear Liza. Too dull. If the
A
knife is
hammer.
too dull, it means it's not what? Not
Yeah,
sharp enough, right? So what does he have to do if it's dull?
I think a knife.
Maybe
Scissors.
maybe cut
A
little
tool.
scissors or sharpen the axe.
A tool.
How many of you guys think we should sharpen the axe if it's too dull?
Scissors.
Me too. Okay, let's see.
Sharpen it.
Then sharpen it, dear Henry. Dear Henry. Dear Henry. Then sharpen it, dear Henry.
That will make
Dear Henry, then sharpen it.
it more pointy.
Hmm? Yes.
I have an axe.
Did you sharp? Is yours sharp?
Yeah, and my dad get the axe and
Does he cut things with it?
no, that was my dad.
That's what it's for, right? Okay, let's keep reading, okay? I'll answer your question at the end, okay? On what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? Dear Liza? On what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza?
I think
On
a
what?
knife.
What do we think we should sharpen it on?
A knife.
A knife?
Scissors.
Should we get scissors?
Ah.
Remember, we're sharpening the axe. How do you sharpen an axe?
Like this.
Got it? Maybe use a rock to sharpen it?
No.
Let's see. Let's see. On a stone. Dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. On a stone, dear Henry. Dear Henry, on a stone.
How we do that?
But the stone is too dry. Dear Liza, dear Liza. But the stone is too dry. Dear Liza, too dry.
It won't work. It won't work.
You don't think it's going to work? Let's see. Then, what if something is too wet or too dry? How do you make it? What do you do to it? To make it?
You get a towel and dry it.
You get a towel and dry it. You want to make it wet, right? So maybe you put the hose on it, put it under water.
You can put water on it.
Yes. So then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it. With what shall I wet it? Dear Liza, dear Liza. With what shall I wet it?
A hose.
Dear Liza, with what? A hose? What do we think we're going to wet it with? A hose? Anyone else have another idea?
Look at over there.
Anyone else have another idea of what we're going to wet it with?
Look at the
What?
pure stove.
Oh, yeah, with a bowl? What do we think we're going to wet it with?
Wet it with drops of water.
From the sink? That's a good one. What else?
With the water hose.
Ooh, with the water hole? These are all good answers. With water. Dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry.
For the sheep.
With water, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water.
What the hell?
Well, how shall I carry it?
And elephants.
Dear Liza, dear Liza.
I know.
All right, sit down, please.
A bowl. I know.
I'm reading right now.
A bowl.
Well, how shall I carry it? Dear Liza.
Oh,
Well, how?
man. Even I know.
In a
about that.
bucket. Dear Henry, dear
I know
Henry,
about
dear
that.
Henry. In a bucket, dear Henry,
But the
dear Henry.
bucket's
In a bucket. What do you think is going to happen next?
It's gonna leak out.
Will leak out?
I don't.
Why do we think it's going to leak out?
Because the bucket has a hole in
It
it.
has a hole. Okay, so he's got the bucket. What is he doing with the bucket, though?
He's putting his finger in it so it doesn't leak out.
That's exactly what he's doing. So he saw there's a hole, but he's putting his finger in to pause it and to make sure the water doesn't come out, right?
Yeah, he wants.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah. No, he wants to spill out.
But right now it looks okay. But do you think it's going to hold forever?
No. But there's
See.
water coming
Look
out.
at her, just relaxing, sleeping, taking a little nap. Everyone will go, all right. But there's a hole in the bucket. Dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket. Dear Liza. A hole. What's happening? What's happening?
Water comes coming out.
The water is coming out?
The girl.
Where's the water coming out of?
The girl.
What's happening right now?
The bottom of the bucket is red. I knew it. It's going on the lady.
The bucket's pouring on the lady. Would you like that if you were sleeping and someone came and poured water on you? No. You would?
I like water.
Let's see what happens. She said, that's okay. Let's have a party. So, let's talk about it a little bit. So, what was Henry trying to do in the beginning? Let's go back to the front page. He's trying to get water. Where is he taking the water from?
The bucket.
Does anyone know what this is called?
Yeah, a water fountain.
What do you think this is called?
A water.
A water fountain. That's close. Who else has another idea? Yeah.
Kaden is being mean to me.
Okay, let's focus on this one. Guys, eyes up here, okay? So, this is called a well. Have any of you guys heard of a well?
Yeah.
A well? So, back in... It's okay. Miss Teresa's got it. Come join us. Come join us. So, back in the old times, they still do it. But before we had water fountains and sinks, you had to go get your own water every morning. Could you imagine you had to go get your own water every morning? Every morning. You had to wake up. You couldn't have water without running outside and going to the well. You couldn't take a bath. You couldn't wash your dog. You couldn't do anything without going and getting your own water. How many of us would like that?
I would do it.
I would, and that sounds like a lot of work, right?
I
Okay, guys, sit down.
all the bucket for the water.
Oh, yeah. So how do you guys think you would fix a hole in a bucket? Raise your hand. Yeah, how do you think you would fix a hole?
I can fix the hole with the Band-Aid.
With a Band-Aid? Ooh, that's a good one. That's how we fix cuts, right? Yes, how would you fix a hole in a bucket? With a book? Would you put the book on the outside or the inside? Oh, that could be good. How would you do it?
You can get plastic and make a circle in the middle.
That is a good one. You could put plastic and then put it in the hole so that it doesn't leak out. Okay, how would you fix the hole?
I get a cup and break the cup and make a circle and paint it and put it in the basket.
That's a good idea. Okay, guys. Shh, eyes up here. Girls, eyes up here. How would you fix a hole in the bucket?
By putting my head in it.
Putting your head in it? You're silly. So let's look back. He tried to put, where is it? He tried to put straw in the bucket. Did that help?
No.
No. He tried to, what else did he try to do?
Cut it.
Tried to cut it.
You should buy a new one.
So, and did it work when he cut it?
No.
He was trying to cut the straw, right? Because it was too long. And when he was cutting it, what did he find out? Was that axe sharp enough?
No.
Was it sharp enough in the beginning?
Yeah.
No, remember, it was dull. You guys know what dull means? Remember, it means not sharp. And then what happened next? So he cut it, but then he realized it was too dull, so he had to sharpen it. After he sharpened it, but what did he sharpen it with? Do you remember?
Make eight.
Hold on 1 second. Remember what we sharpened the axe with? Yeah. A stone. Remember a rock, a stone? And hit it and sharpened it?
Oh, I know.
And then
There's a fire, and the fire has her.
yeah. And then remember Liza was sleeping? She was sleeping so peaceful. Remember when we...
Okay, let's tell me to do.
And then, remember what happened?
3 more days until Friday.
Remember what happened? What happened to her when he brought the
She
bucket
got
over?
wet.
She got wet? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
I
Knew it. But was she happy or sad?
Happy.
She was happy, huh?
And they have a feast.
They had a little pool party, huh? Their own little pool party. How many of you guys would just have a pool party if someone got you wet? Me. How many of you guys would get mad? Sometimes you get mad, but I would just go, let's party. So how many of you guys liked that story? Good morning. You liked it? Just 2 people? Only 2 people? Let's try it again. How many people liked that story? How many people? How many of you guys didn't really like it? A couple of you? That's okay. Yes.
I had a swimming pool in my backyard, and I used to swim and get
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. I want you guys to give yourself a little round of applause for being so good for me.
No, like this.
Oh, like this. Round of applause. Because you guys were so helpful for me. Because now I'm going to get a good grade because you guys listened so well. All right, give me 1 second. Yes, guys.
Should we watch the video?
Maybe a little bit later, okay?
Aww.